I got a plan. All right, ladies and gentlemen, eyes up here, please. I have highlighted the date that it is right now. That is June 6th. Say happy birthday to your father. June 8th was the birthday of my best friend from elementary school who is now dead. June 10th is the birthday of a very good friend of mine from high school who was my girlfriend but now isn't. And it's also the birthday of my brother-in-law. June 27th is the birthday of my sister and the birthday of one of my cats. I know this because the mother of that cat had the kittens on my feet in bed on my sister's birthday. So, today is this day. Today we are going to finish new material. It is done. You will finish the course today if all things go well. You will not get much work time, but you will finish it. Since you are an afternoon class, I know that very few of you, if any of you, will bother returning to this class tomorrow afternoon after Storm the Wall. No big deal, because I am getting you to work tomorrow on your Unit 8 review, which will carry over to being marked on Friday. Okay? That means all of this week is freed up to do a couple of things. One, during this week, I don't like the tests on Monday, but I don't know. You have a Unit 8 test to do. That test you are going to want to go over at some point. Not gover, that's not a word. Go over your Unit 8 test. And you are going to want to write a Units 5 through 8 cumulative. And that will most likely be on the 13th. Okay? Okay. That leaves us with these 3 days of official, because this day is a real day of class, of review for the final. Your final is right here. Now, this week here is you people are block D, so you will be coming to this class on Friday morning. All right? Now, here's the thing. I have a medical appointment Friday afternoon. Therefore, I will not be around to actually give you the test. That doesn't matter because you can't ask me any questions on a final anyway. What it does affect is a great many of you still 4 months into the class do not realize that you need to show up for a math test with a calculator, a pencil, and eraser. And some of you will be showing up on that day at that final without one of those 3 things. When you do so, there will be no one here to give you one of those 3 things. And it will be awfully difficult to do that final exam without those 3 things. For most of you, it will be impossible to do that final exam without those 3 things. So get those 3 things. Yes? I think it's at 1 o'clock. I don't know. I can't remember. It's after lunch on that day. 11:45. Maybe they're starting at noon. I can't remember. I don't know. The test will be awaiting you in the room to which you have been assigned to write. I do not know what room that will be. They have not done that yet. The room will have in it tests, scrap paper, graph paper, and data booklets. Go for Myers. I do. I can. Bye-bye. Liam, to Ms. Berdini, please. This is not elementary school. Please stop. Anyways, as I was saying, you need and a data booklet. All the stuff will be there for you. Now, something of which you may not be aware is every day during this week, there is an X block. That X block goes right across the board, and it is 9:35 to whenever lunch is, 10:57 or whatever. Those are X blocks. You may go anywhere you wish. I will have opportunities available for you to repair grades with which you are still concerned. All right? If you do not come, do not expect your grade to be changed. If you come and do no work, do not expect your grade to be changed. If you come and get work from me and bring it back to me the next day, so I have no proof that you did it yourself, do not expect your grade to be changed. If you come here, do work in class, and ask me how to do every single question, do not expect your grade to be changed. Is that clear? Are those purple highlighted X blocks in any way required of you? No. Not to be here. You have to be somewhere. I do not care where. But if you are here, you will work on math. And what you do on that day will be given to me at the end of that day. If it is better or shows improvement, I will improve your grades. If it does not, I will not. Clear? Good. Also, if you are a member of this class that is approaching failure from either side, so you have anywhere under 55% as of this point right here. If you are less than 55% on the 18th, then you are in very bad shape. Because if you fail your final exam, there is a good chance you will fail the course. All right? And I will fail you, because that is what you deserve. If you are on the other side of 50%, such as you have 44%, and you have made a reasonable effort through this period of time, but you still are not quite at 50%, if you pass your final, I will pass you for the year. Do I make myself clear? All right? However, if you are below 50% and you fail your final, you are really out of luck. You will either be repeating Foundations of Math 10, or you will be attending summer school, which is held in this building. I am teaching at summer school, but not Math 10. One of my colleagues will be. You will see me through all of July, if you so choose. Do I make myself clear? Just to reiterate, failing the final does not necessarily mean you fail the year, even if you have a low grade. Right? You could have 53%, get 48% on the final, which is failing the final, but I would still allow you to pass. Does everyone understand? All right. How will I make these decisions? Things like the homework check page. If you have 46% and have not done any homework, did not improve on even one rewrite, cumulative exam, did not show up for all of this X block week, and failed your final, I am not going to change a thing. Clear? All right. Everything taken care of? I'm going to take that as a yes. All of this has been recorded, Liam. If you wish to watch the video, you will hear everything I just said. Hockly dockly? Hockly dockly. Any questions?
When is like the other exam for other subjects?
I have no idea.
I heard that the English one is Tuesday.
Why would I know that? I teach math. I appreciate you asking, because if somebody in the class were to know, it would be me. But I do not, because I teach math. Okay? Okay. Any other questions about math? Lovely. Let's carry on. Please open your books to the last thing I asked you to do, which, if I am not mistaken, was solving systems through elimination. Yes? What? What test? For this unit? Yes, there will be a test. You will have to demonstrate the ability to do all three at least once. There will be questions on the test that say, solve this system. If it says solve this system, do whatever the heck you want. Okay? All right. As I said, I would like to finish off the year right now. But in order to do so, I need to do my usual ask if anybody needs to ask about any of the homework. Page 239 had textbook work. Boring. Anybody want to ask about any of them? No? All right. Page 239 had a text, or it had a puzzle sheet. I don't remember the exact words, but the punchline is cheap milk or cheap beef. I can't remember which. Because he fed birdseed to his cows. Because birds go cheep, cheep, cheap. Ah. All right. Something like that. Now, before we go on, I have something that is funny to hear, but not a dad joke. I found out today that Mick Jagger, do you all know who Mick Jagger is? Yeah. He is the singer for the Rolling Stones. Arguably the greatest left alive rock star in the world. Everybody who is in a band who sings for a band that plays their instruments should be aspiring to live the life that Mick Jagger has managed to lead, because he has been a rock star for nigh on 50 years. He has led a rock star lifestyle and is still alive, which is a testament to something, I do not know what. Today I found out that Mick Jagger, who is at least 70, he has children, as many rock stars do, due to their endless dalliances with endless amounts of women. And Mick Jagger likes to comment on his children's social media pages. Every time they do something, he puts a dad comment on there, like, looks like fun, wish I was there, which is wicked cool to everybody else, except the actual kid, because it's still your dad. Even if your dad is Mick Jagger, he's still your lame-ass dad. I know this because I know a few famous people that have children, and their children mock them.
Like who?
Huh?
Like
I know the gentleman who wrote the screenplay for the movie The F Word, who in that movie starred Harry Potter and Kylo Ren. He has written scripts for Jackie Chan. He has written scripts for Samuel L. Jackson. He recently wrote a novel. He is a famous person in that particular field of work. And his daughter, who is about 10, thinks her father is lame. I don't know who that was. Oh, yes, I am loud today. I also know the lead singer for the band 5440, who you guys won't be aware of that band, but people my age are quite familiar with that band. And his daughter indeed thinks he is lame. It's just the way it goes. At any rate, Mick Jagger is where we were. Mick Jagger has 8 children.
8?
I know, I'm surprised it is only 8. Mick Jagger's youngest child, are you ready for this fact? Put this through your brain. Mick Jagger's youngest child is 2 years older than Mick Jagger's great-grandchild.
Hold on, what?
Do that math. Mick Jagger is a great-grandfather. Mick Jagger has a great-grandson. That great-grandson is older than Mick Jagger's youngest child.
So how old is Mick Jagger?
I think he's about 70.
And he's
No. He has a great-grandson that is older than his youngest child. So, Mick Jagger's youngest child has a half-brother who is 2 years younger than him, who is also his great-grandfather's son.
I'm so good.
Mick Jagger is 74 years old.
Mick Jagger is 74.
How old is this great-grandchild?
I don't know how old the great-grandchild is. I didn't research that much.
Give me a second. How old is his oldest child?
His oldest child is probably around the area of 50, I would guess.
So are his kids like 50 and he comes with like 50 on social media accounts?
No. He's got a 16-year-old son named Luke Jagger, I believe.
Mick Jagger becomes a father again at 73.
There you go. His youngest child he just had at 73. Our bodies continue to work. All of our reproductive plumbing works forever.
Mr. Myers,
What?
the mother of the child is only 30.
And? It's Mick Jagger, the greatest rock star living today.
It's not the same wife every time. I know that.
His 8 children are with 5 different women.
Oh my. Mick Jagger was actually at the hospital when the child was born. He made it there.
Damn right he did.
Well, if he's 70, so I just avoided it.
Yeah, it's actually they still perform. Literally, Mick Jagger still performs. Thank you, Connor. I'll be appearing here till the end of June. Tip your waitress. All right. Yeah, it took a while. Some people still do not get what I just said. They are sitting there smiling and laughing because some people are smiling and laughing. And they feel that it is best to smile and laugh right now, even though they do not quite follow what the joke is, and that's okay.
Somebody explain it to me, please. I don't get it.
It's okay, buddy.
I actually want to understand it.
Mick Jagger is a rock star. Therefore, he performs on stage. Ash said, well, he's 74. It's not like he's still performing.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, yes, he does still perform. Literally and figuratively. Because he is still having children. Okay?
I think that's
All right. If we could all carry on, I would like for you all to graph these two lines. You may use different colors if you have them. You need not. When, this is page 239-ish, 241. Graph these two lines and tell me the solution to the system. Go.
I can feel the lead moving around. Ah.
I want to use it. You're not using it.
I'm not using it already. Oh, wait.
I lost my feathers from Mars.
Well, like,
Take the purple pen. There you go.
Hopefully all of you were able to graph this system. Now, let us discuss the conclusions that we can draw from what we have just done. When I graphed this system, I was given the result of two lines. Yes? One line is sky blue, one line is red. Agreed? Those lines crossed at 4, 3. Because that is the single point where there's an x and a y value that is on both lines. Yes? Okay. That red line will continue in what direction? This isn't a trick question. What direction will this red line continue from this point? Up and to the left. For how long? Ever and ever and ever. How long will it continue here? Christian? Forever. Down and to the right. Yes? Where will this blue line continue forever? Up and to the left and down and to the right. What will happen to this gap? It will get bigger and 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 bigger. And will it ever cross again?
No.
No, because neither of those lines will ever turn, will they?
No.
Excellent. So, what does that tell us about two lines and the fact that they cross? What is that intersection? What are we trying to find when we have a system? We are trying to find the solution. What is the solution? It is the x and y coordinates that are on both lines, which means they are the intersection. Yes? So, how many solutions does this system have? 1. How many is the maximum amount of solutions this system could have? This system can only have one solution because those lines are never going to cross again, are they? So, what part of this work that we have just done, what part of it allows these lines to cross? What is different between the blue line and the red line that means, that ensures that they will meet? They're slopes. Absolutely correct. So, if two lines have different slopes, what will happen? What will happen to those lines? They will intersect. They will intersect. And that intersection gives us one solution. So if the slopes are different, we can solve a system. Everybody with me? Great. Let's do the next one. Slide down to the next question. I will use the same blue and red. You guys can too. I'm just frozen. The blue one. 4y equals negative 2x plus 12. Y equals negative 1/2 x plus 3. Yes? Any questions? Any concerns? All of you by now should be able to do that in almost the same amount of time as it takes me to do that. Is everybody good? Okay. Now we'll do the same thing with the red line. 2y equals negative x minus 12. Y equals negative 1/2 x minus 6. And then we graph them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Slope of negative 1/2. And 1, 2, 3, and slope of negative 1/2. What do you notice about these two? They are parallel. They are parallel. Which means what? It means a lot of things. It means they have the same slope. What else does it mean? They'll never cross. Which means what? There's no solution. If two lines share a slope, then they're parallel. What does that mean? Thus, they'll never cross. So there's how many solutions? No solution. Is everybody cool with those two things? If the slopes are the same, no solution. If the slopes are different, one solution. Is everybody good? All right. Turn the page over. When you're done writing that down. Turn the page over, and let's have a look at this one. 3y equals negative 2x plus 5. Y equals negative 2/3 x plus 5/3. Yeah? And I graph it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You shouldn't graph first.
It's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5/3 and a slope of negative 2/3. Down 2 over 3. Down 2 over 3. And there's my line. Now, 4 over negative 6x plus 10 over 6 equals y. Would you ever leave those fractions like that?
No.
What would they become?
2 over 3.
Negative 2/3 x plus 5/3. Graph that. What do you notice about those two lines? They're the exact same line, which means how often do they touch? All the time. From what point to what point? Negative infinity to positive infinity in both directions. So how many intersections are there? An infinite amount of intersections. If the lines are the same on the graph, then there's how many solutions? Then there's infinite solutions. So what are our options? There can be how many solutions?
A lot. Oh no. Infinite.
Infinite,
None at all.
none at all,
1.
and 1. What is the property of the line that determines this? The slope. Different slopes? 1. Same slope, but different y-intercept? None. Same slope, same y-intercept? Infinite. Now,
Look at parabolas.
same thing. Without solving, so no substitution, no graphing, no elimination, tell me how many each of these will have. They will have either 0, 1, or infinite. Just, you should be able to do it from looking, but most of you won't yet, right? So what do you need to do? Find what? The slope. How do you find slope? Hint, hint, I just did it thrice in your notes. Pardon me? Isolate the y, which is going to work wonderfully for system A and system B. What's going to happen in system C? So isolate. Does it matter which one you isolate? No, because whatever one you isolate is the y, and whatever one you don't isolate is the x. So it's still going to work. You go right now. I'm going to do mine with the screen off. Then I'm going to turn the screen on, and you can see if you did it right. Okay? You have all the time you need, Ash. I am going to choose some funky colors today, though. am done. I will wait a moment for you to be so. And while you are waiting for your peers to be done, let me ask you this, if you're not still working on these. How does this help?
You can't always graph it. It's like,
No, that's fine. How does this help?
Makes the yield move faster.
It takes a second to check if the system that you're working on even has a solution, doesn't it? Right? Because maybe you're working with two sets of data that will never work together. Why would you spend a long time working on that if you can find out in 10 seconds if there ever is going to be a solution? Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of like double checking your work. You do one little thing and you know if it's worth carrying on or not. Everybody with me? Here are the answers. How many solutions over here? 1. How many here? Infinite. How many here? 0. Is everybody good? Because as you can see, once you reduce, and I hate that word, once you simplify those fractions, you end up with the exact same line. Is everybody cool? Cool, cool, cool? To quote Jake Peralta. 9-9! Season finale was epic. Yes, it was really good. Any questions? Last time. Sweet. If you were going to do some practice, which some of you might, it is on page 243. But as I said, I want to finish the year. So please continue on to 240, whatever the next page is that has work on it. All right. As I have done all unit, I have given you the steps to solve doing what we're about to do right here. Please read those over and assure yourself that you understand what all those words mean. Does everybody understand what all those words mean? Right? Everybody? Once, twice, thrice? Okay. Let's start doing that. The first thing I ask you to do is identify what you are looking for. So everybody look at that first question. What is it I am seeking? 2 numbers. Since there are 2 numbers that I do not know, how many variables must I use? 2, because I have 2 unknowns. What if I needed 3 unknown numbers? How many variables would we need? 3. What if I needed 4 unknown numbers? What if I needed 8 unknown numbers? Same thing. And indeed, you can solve 8 variable systems using these exact same methods that you have learned here for 2 variable systems. I will not make you, but you can. Now, the next part of step 1 says, write let statements to identify your variables accordingly. This is not English class. Writing statements is not necessarily necessary. When I was in the 9th grade in 1989, it was. Mr. Voth was very important, very high up on making sure that we wrote our let statements. Fortunately, none of you have a time machine. You will not be going back in time to 1989, Vancouver, Churchill High School, and sitting in Mr. Voth's class with me. But Mr. Voth drilled that into my skull. So I will do the same to you. But it's the 21st century. If you need not write it down, you need not write it down. But you do need to be able to understand what Mr. Voth was saying. And this is what he was saying. Since I need two numbers, Mr. Voth would say, well, I need to let number 1 be Q. I'm not going to use X and Y. You know why? Because I'm tired of you guys saying you can't do math when it's not X and Y. And then Mr. Voth would make me write, let number 2 be QR R. Mr. Voth would make us write those. If we didn't write that, he wouldn't even mark the piece of paper.
Do the variables you always expect me to decide each other's alphabet?
No,
Then why do you always put like X and Y and Q and R and P?
because
Okay.
next one I'll use two completely different parts of the alphabet. How's that sound? Okay. Everybody cool with that? Now, it's the 21st century. You could just write number 1 equals Q, number 2 equals R. That would be fine. But I cannot stress enough how much easier this is if you actually write that out somewhere. Does everybody agree with what we just did? Excellent. Let us move on to step 2, which I write in blue. Write two equations. Why is it two equations? Because I have two variables. What if I wanted 3 variables? How many equations would I need? 3. What if I wanted 8 variables? 8. Everybody got it? Okay. So let's write those equations. Now look, I've been nice enough to remind you that each sentence often produces an equation. There is a sentence. That sentence says the sum of the two numbers is 176. To write an equation, I need what two things? I need an equal sign and some math. Right? Okay. I also need things that math is happening to, correct? In this state, or in this case, I have two unknowns and a number. Right? And the math is happening to those unknowns. So how do I write this English sentence as a mathematical equation, which is indeed a mathematical sentence? What would I write? Q plus R equals 176. Nicely done. Everybody good? What then will we write? Will we write for the second sentence?
Q minus R is 48.
Q minus R equals 48. Is everybody Gouda? Excellent. Now stop, because I know that you're just killing yourselves to find those numbers, but do not. Because what I want for you to do now is to go to number 2 and do steps 1 and 2 for that one. Go. You've got what you need to do right at the top of the page. Just give it a whirl. How many people have completed step 1? I will wait a moment. I will now show step 1. Is everybody ready? Just step 1. Did you have to use C and P? No, but I used C and P for two reasons. One, Ash wanted different letters, and chocolate starts with C and pop starts with P. Everybody good? Terrific. Now, make your, how many sentences? How many math sentences will we need? 2. So write your 2 equations. I will wait a moment for everybody to make this attempt. I know Louis is done. He sits close to me. Now I know somebody far away is done. Does everybody feel that they have written a system now? I am not asking if you think it is right or not. Just have you written something down?
Yes.
Excellent. Are you ready to see if you indeed did it right?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Is everybody happy?
Yes.
Now, go back to question 1. And now we must solve our system. Now, how many methods do we have to solve systems? 3. What is the one that we are almost never going to use? Graphing. Why? It does. It's bad. A, it takes forever. B, there's more than likely a chance that it is not going to give us an exact answer. Right? Okay. So, that leaves us with substitution and elimination. I am equally comfortable with both. So, I choose the one that works better in the situation in front of me. Right now, I would use, what do you think? I would use elimination because I have a positive R and a negative R. So I can get rid of the R's right away. Yes? So let's do so. What happens when I add one Q to a second Q? I get 2 Q's. What happens when I have one R and I add a negative R? I get 0 R's. Do I ever write down 0 R?
No.
Of course not. And what is 176 plus 48? While you are getting your calculator out, I am adding it in my head, and it is 224. What do I do now?
Divide by 2.
I isolate Q by dividing by 2. And what does Q equal? 112. Do I now know what the first number is?
Yes.
Yes. What is it? 112. Number 1 equals 112. I should have been doing this in green. Darn it. Now that I know what Q is, where can I write 112? Not everywhere.
Anywhere that has a Q.
Everywhere I see the letter Q. Correct? So I go back up here, and I have 2 choices, do I not? I could write 112 plus R equals 176. Or I could write 112 minus R equals 48. And then I would solve them. Right? 112 minus 48 equals R. 64 equals R. Or 176 minus 112 equals R. 64 equals R. Do I now know number 2? 64. Is everybody good? Yes? All right. Now, go on to number 2. Do we have a system? Indeed we do. Is this system right now good for elimination? No. Why not?
No
No numbers are the same. I could multiply to make numbers the same, or I could use substitution. Why is substitution a good choice? Because there is a single letter there. Correct? So that single letter means that P equals 220 minus 2C. Once I see that, what can I do with this expression? Plug it into anywhere I see a P. Anywhere. It doesn't matter. See a P. C, P, and see a P. If you're doing math in the bathroom, you'll always see P. All right. So, 4C plus 3 what? What do I write here instead of P? 220 minus 2C, and that equals 530, correct? So then I do my math. You may need a calculator, and that's okay. 6.6 is a big number. And when you finish this question, you will know how old this worksheet is. Because how much is a single chocolate bar?
65 cents.
Exactly. You can still find chocolate bars that cheap when they're on sale, but it's usually $2 for $1 something.
Dollar store.
Now there are some chocolate bars that should be worth less than 65 cents. For example, Big Turk. Big Turk is a lump of Turkish delight covered in chocolate. It's repulsive. It's gross. It's, haven't you seen the movie The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe? Or better yet, read the book?
Yeah, is it the little candy?
The candies. Yeah. No, they're not. They're disgusting. You guys are crazy in the head. Turkish delight is awful. When I was a kid, my mom gave me some money to go to the store and get a candy bar. And I said, all right, I'm going to go buy whatever candy bar I want because I'm a big boy. I bought myself a Big Turk because I'd never had one before. Because my mom never bought me a Big Turk because my mom knows Big Turks are disgusting. So I bought myself a Big Turk. Took one bite of the Big Turk and ran to the garbage can and spit the bite away and threw out the entire chocolate bar because it is repulsive. Some of you may like Big Turks. You are entitled to every Big Turk in the world. Do not bring me one because they are awful. No, you're not going to bring me one for my birthday because none of you brought me anything for my birthday.
I'm sorry.
Now, once we know, no, you didn't even bring yourself to class because it was a Pro D day. What? Now that we know what C is, what can I do with that?
Plug it or see it.
Plug it in anywhere I see a C. Where can I put it? It does not matter. 2 times 0.65 plus P equals 220. 130 plus P equals 220. P equals 0.90. How much is a pop?
90 cents. I'm gonna bring it's really cheap. I'm deep that. Is this one you were taking?
A pop is still not much more than 90 cents for a can of pop. I buy my pop at the dollar store,
Yeah.
where it's 2 for $1. So they're 50 cents each.
That's cheaper than this.
I know. Dollar stores are weird. I don't really know how they stay in business, and yet there's millions of them. I don't get it.
I love dollar stores. Don't hate on them.
Who doesn't? I'm not. Turn the page over. You guys, let's try to do 3. Talk to your neighbor for a moment, or not if you feel you do not need to, and tell me the 2 unknown things which we are seeking. What?
Everybody gets $100 and goes to the dollar store so they can get.
You'll get 100 things. It's a dollar store.
No, taxes. Taxes.
And it's actually like
It's
125.
$2.25 now. Yeah, I got ripped off one day. This is $1.25.
You should remember, of course, that any time you buy food at a dollar store, you should not be paying taxes. As long as it's not snack food.
Oh, it is snack food.
If you buy a jar of pasta at a dollar store and they charge you taxes, you should be angry.
Why?
Because they're not allowed.
Why not?
You do not apply taxes to food that is not for immediate consumption. If you buy a single cookie, you pay taxes. If you buy a bag of cookies, you do not, because you are not eating those cookies in a single serving.
A bag of cookies?
Yes.
I mean, Mr. Myers. Let's be real here.
I'm well aware that all of you Hoovers will eat an entire bag of cookies at one sitting. But you are not supposed to. All right. Who would like to tell me the two unknowns for which we are seeking? We are looking for a startup fee, a stat-up fee, forgot the R, and a month fee. So, they need variables. I'm going to be, just like Ash wanted me to be, I'm going to choose B and W. Because Ash got mad at me for choosing letters that were right beside each other. And then I don't want to choose S and M because that's too obvious. So, now I must write my mathematical sentences. One of them is right there. After 1 month, Jen has paid $260. How many startup fees has Jen paid? One. B. Did she pay more than a startup fee? Yes, because she has paid how many monthly fees? One, which is W. And how much does that equal? $260. After 6 months, how many startup fees has she paid? One, because it's a start-up fee. You pay it at the start. Plus how many monthly fees? 6 W. And what does that equal? $435.
We're going for 6 months, we're going for 260. It's way cheaper.
Now, this is an interesting one because you have single variables, so substitution wouldn't be a bad choice, would it? But you also have the same number. They're not different signs, but they're the same number. So is elimination also indeed a good choice?
Yes.
Does it matter which you choose to do? No. I'm this time, because we just did a substitution one, I'm going to do an elimination one. Now, to eliminate, one of them needs to be a different sign. Eric, yesterday, told us a great way to get the signs different. What was it? Divide by -1. Ash, yesterday, told us another great way to get the signs different, which was multiply by -1. And then I gave you another way when you didn't have to change the signs, which was subtraction. Does it matter which one you use? No. I am simply going to subtract. B minus B is what? Nothing. 1 W minus 6 W's is what? -5 W's. 260 minus 435 is what? -175. Can I now solve that? I will divide by -5, and W is going to equal what? 35, which means what is my monthly fee? Monthly fee is $35. Do I care about the monthly fee? No, I am seeking the startup fee, so I must find B. How will I do so? W is 35. What do you see right there? W. So what do you write? B plus not W. 35 equals 260. B equals $225.
The starting fee is $225.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're close. I said they started
Is everybody Gouda?
Blue.
Lovely. No, nobody is blue. Blech.
I think you said glue. Glue.
Glue cheese? Yum.
It's all the rage nowadays.
You know what is all the rage nowadays? Are you all familiar with the tennis star? I can't remember what his name is. The tennis star from Serbia. I can't remember his name.
He's like the tall guy.
You know who I mean. Milos. No, he's the Canadian.
Rogers Big Fish.
I can't remember the guy's. Anyway, he's a Serbian tennis player, and he's super awesome. Like, wins tournaments all the time. His name is escaping me. It does not matter. Recently, said Serbian tennis star was asked the secret to his success. And he said, yes.
What did you say?
He was asked, and he said, the secret to my success is my diet. And one of the most important parts of my diet is the cheese I eat. He eats cheese made from donkey's milk. It's apparently a big deal in Serbia. It's apparently delicious cheese. He loves it so much and credits it so much for his success that he bought a donkey farm in order to make donkey milk cheese, which many people think is, ugh, but it's just milk, right? There's goat's milk cheese. The best feta is made from goat's and sheep's milk. So it's not that weird. But, no, it's not made from donkey. Donkey is a cartoon. And a male. Male donkeys do not give milk. How did you not know donkey was a male?
No, I didn't eat donkeys. I like cows and some don't give milk.
You think bulls give milk? Do male men give milk? Do you see a lot of men walking around with a baby at their breast? No. As a matter of fact, one time in Salvation Army, my daughter was making a racket. And nothing bothers me more than people that come and offer unsolicited parenting advice. My daughter was making a racket. I had some business to take care of in the Salvation Army. I was donating a whole bunch of crap that I do not need anymore, that somebody less fortunate than me may have needed. My daughter was making a large noise. A woman, unsolicited, came up to me and said, "I think your daughter's hungry." To which I responded, "Well, there's not a hell of a lot I can do about that, is there, ma'am?" No, I am not mean. I did not tell her she was making poor fashion choices. I did not tell her to mind her own business, which is what I should have said. So, of course, I could not do anything about it because I was in the middle of a Salvation Army and lacked breasts.
Wait, your daughter was a children child?
My daughter was a baby. A children child. What's that word for little children? Child. Right. Child squared. That's what it is. Oh, you've got a beautiful child squared there. What's your favorite color? Children blue. No, it's baby blue.
I said children child.
Uh-huh. All right. Perhaps this explains why my my YouTube videos come up as comedy. It is not me, it is you people. You childs. You children. All right. You okay there, big stuff? One more, Doc. All right. What are my two unknowns in problem 4? How much he invested? Because he had two investments, yes? So there is investment 1, and there's investment 2, which means they need how many variables? 2 different variables, right? Because I can't use the same letter or it won't work. So I'm going to use J and K. No, they're right beside each other. J and O. O looks like 0. P, Q, R, S, T. U. We haven't used U. J and U. J, U. All right. Now, what do I know about J and U? I know 2 things. What do I know?
Is investment or just I don't even know.
You do.
Is investment onto
What? I need to find out how much each investment was, right? But I know how much he invested. How much? 2,000. So what do I know about J plus U? It has to equal 2,000, correct? What else do I know about J and U? I know some percentages, don't I? How do I write 8% in math class? 0.08. So 0.08J and 0.10U equaled how much money? 190. Is everybody cool?
Yes.
Okay. What about this system bothers you? The decimals. Is there something I can do to equations to make them have the same result but look better? I can multiply them. What would I multiply this guy by to get rid of those decimals? 10? 100. So I'm going to change colors of blue. And what is my new one? 8J plus 10U equals 19,000. 2 zeros. All right, I'm adding 2 zeros because I multiplied by 100. Everybody cool? So now, do I even need this middle one anymore? No. What will I use?
Substitution.
This time is a good one for substitution. Doesn't matter which one I find. J or U, does it matter?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter at all. So I'm going to go ahead and make this J equals 2,000 minus U. Is everybody comfortable? All right. Now, what does that mean? Any J can be written as what? 2,000 minus U. So 2,000 minus U plus 10U equals 19,000. And then what do I do? What do? I assume by the fact that everybody is doing it that you know what to do. And don't feel like talking. You're giving me the silent treatment. That's fine. I can take it. It's all right. Oh, yeah.
Sure.
No, why would you do that? No. It's not. I'm not finding a percentage. I'm finding J and U. So what is J?
J is
500. Because U was 1,500. And they had to add to 2,000.
Wow.
Is everybody Gouda? All right, now, listen for a second. The reason I am showing you these word problems is not because I am some sort of weird math sadist. I do not enjoy watching you struggle through word problems. The reason I am showing you this is because this is the real life application of systems. Let me give you an example. Anytime you have to choose between two things that are going to cost you money, which one would you want to pick? What would cost you the least money if they were equal, right? Because you all know you can go to the dollar store and buy $4.99 headphones and they sound like crap and break, right? So you know sometimes you want to pay a little more. You get what you pay for. But all things being equal, you want to pay as little amount of money as possible, correct? So let me give you an example. Let's say I decide that I am not perfect, which is of course stupid because I am. But let's decide, or let's pretend that I feel I should improve myself in some way. And one of the ways I feel I need to improve myself is I'm going to go to the gym or a tennis club. I choose tennis club A, and it's that same tennis club we dealt with. $225 plus $35 per month, right? And across town, there is another tennis club that doesn't charge a startup fee, but they charge $75 a month. How do I make my decision?
You have to pick up like a certain amount of months.
How long do you want to go to that tennis club?
Yeah.
Exactly. If I graph the red one, in 1 month, how much money have I spent? 75. And it's going to go up like this, yes? $75 a month from zero. The other one starts way up here at $225, right? But it only goes up $35 a month. They hit there, say there. That might be whatever it is. It's a certain amount of months. If I stay longer, do I want to be at the red line? No, because I'm costing me more. If I stay less, do I want to be on the red line? Yes. And these are the type of things that you can use systems to figure out. We had to use them at 7-Eleven when we were ordering food. Because 7-Eleven, or all groceries at 7-Eleven, because as you well know, 7-Elevens are small. There is no room in the back for storage. So you had to order just the right amount of food. And we used systems to figure it out. Because we had data, when I was in university, when I was 19. When I was working there, we had data for how often the things sold. And that data would make a line, right? And we would have to decide if we were going to continue to buy or not, based on this math, basically. It has a lot of real-life applications. Everybody cool? Great. Congratulations. You finished Math 10. You all did wonderfully. No, we know. But, we went over the calendar at the beginning. There is 2 more pages of work you could practice on. Remember that tomorrow and the next day we are doing review.
Can we start the review now?
If you feel that you are good enough to do so, the only problem with that is every time people start the review now, before they do any practice, I have a lineup of people ask me how to do questions on the review. Right? If you're willing, if you think you're okay, go ahead. Because as you well know, Louis, those pages, 241 and 244 or whatever, are not marked at all, and the answers are on the bottom of the page. They're there for you to practice. You want to put all your eggs in the review basket without doing any practice? Knock yourself out. But bear in mind, it bothers your instructors when you come and ask them how to do something when you could have been practicing yourself. I would recommend a couple of questions from both of those pages to make sure you know what you're doing.